go to Home Depot and get 9 2x6 pressure treated wood. Okay, so I have the windows open, at least some, right now, because the smell of this stuff is just a little overwhelming. And yeah, so I went to my parents first and was there for a little while, and my brother was coming over to pick up Mom to take her over to Costco. And Dad, he's not feeling very good. He's had a few sleepless nights, and last night was pretty much the worst. He has really bad allergies, and on top of everything else that he has going on, he looked really tired. He had really dark circles around his eyes. Whoa. Okay, so I'm doing the speed limit, but you know. Okay, so what I was saying is my dad has very dark circles around his eyes from getting lack of sleep, and I'm hoping that he'll get a better night's rest tonight. He does have some new medication to help him with his allergies, and is supposed to make it better so that he can sleep at night. So I'm hoping that's going to work. Anyway, so that was our visit today, and it was quick. And the next thing I did was ran to Home Depot and got these boards that my husband needs for the porch. And then after that, I had to go to the grocery store. And the easiest one to get in and out of is one that's kind of one of the most expensive ones. And I really hate shopping there. This store, what they like to do is every so often they like to change all their shelves around so that you can't find anything. And they do this with a purpose. The purpose is so that you're in the store longer and that you might see something else that you need. So, you know, it takes forever, even when you're going in there with a set plan on what you want to get. There was a lot of people in there, and guaranteed, you know, granted, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people on a holiday weekend. People are planning for, you know, picnics and stuff, or special meals at home, and so everybody and their uncle was in there, and of course it's not a store that I'm real familiar with either, because, you know, I do some shopping in Albany so that I can take care of, you know, going to my parents and taking care of chores too on the way home, so I don't have to drive back into town to do that in a separate trip. It's just me and Scott in the household right now, you know, and we don't have a lot of people over, and it's just amazing. darn near $200 just to go visit my mom and dad that lives, about an hour away from me. That's crazy. I hope they get things fixed soon, because I can't even imagine the people in families or whatever where they only have one person working in the family, and that they have, mortgage payments, car payments. Thank God we don't have any car payments. Scott is usually pretty good about managing our finances. So, and if one needs to be fixed, we have another one that we can use. So that's helpful. Son David, and then it was like immediately after having him, and not too long after having him anyways, I got pregnant with Jonathan. And not Scott, my first husband's name was Don. So Don lost his job, and we were having a difficult time finding another job. We had to move out of the place that we were renting and stay with my parents temporarily. And so one night we decided that we have to leave Oregon, that we have to go somewhere else and try to find work and, try to start our lives. So we did it really thinking really hard, What we did is we got a map of the United States and got, I don't remember what it was, a tack or something like that. And we put our hands together and went around in circles, and then we plopped the tack back on a map. The tack landed on Flagstaff, Arizona. was working. He was working for minimum wage, and trying to find something else at the same time. And he decided that our family of 3, soon to be 4, was not enough. So he went down to the local shelter and brought home a young many forest fires.